What is engineering? Well, engineering is the use of practical information and practical knowledge in order to create and improve everyday lives. There are many branches of engineering out there, whether it's chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, or civil engineering. Each one holds a special job. Civil engineers, they build some of the most magnificent buildings in the world, whereas mechanical engineers fix and improve most everyday mechanical systems. You also have chemical engineers who help and improve everyday life, who create new and improved medicines in order to help the human body. Engineering is an important aspect of everyday life as it is used throughout the world in order to create and better the society. Today, here, I have a chemical engineer who will help explain what the engineering field is like. What do you believe engineering is?
Well, for me, I think engineering is a lot of different things. It's you know, in my world, it's the operation of equipment. You know, it's the design of new equipment. It's the improvement of existing equipment. It's taking your fundamental sciences and applying them to everyday life.
So, what kind of engineering field are you in?
Currently what I do is I work for a pharmaceutical company in a manufacturing site, and I'm responsible for the facilities engineering, which is the HVAC systems, the utility systems, the infrastructure, a lot of mechanical systems, and primarily what they are, mechanical systems.
So, what company do you work for?
I work for Novartis Pharmaceuticals.
And are they located throughout the world or just in the United States?
No, they're an international company. We're a Swiss company, actually.
Okay. Have you always been in the engineering field, in that engineering field?
Yeah, so I went to school for, I got my bachelor's degree in chemical engineering, and when I graduated I worked for less than a year at a industrial coatings company, formulating coatings, and then I went to work after about a year with what was formerly Ciba as a production supervisor. I started on the second shift at this site where I'm working currently as a coating production supervisor.
And what college did you go to?
I went to my undergraduate. I went to the University of Arizona. I got a graduate degree from Manhattan College as well.
Did you take any courses that were about engineering throughout high school or college?
Yeah, so in high school I think is when I started to gravitate towards the engineering field. I took math, although it wasn't my strongest suit. I did enjoy the sciences, so I took biology, physics, chemistry in high school, and that kind of pointed me in the direction I wanted to go, which was engineering.
So, when you were taking these classes in high school and college, did you know you wanted to become a chemical engineer, or do you not know what kind of engineer you wanted to become?
Yeah, so originally when I started in college, I wanted to be a mechanical engineer, is how I started. And I didn't like some of the classes, and things just happened that I changed to, that I changed my major then to chemical, yeah.
And what do you usually do in a normal day of engineering, chemical engineering?
So my degree's in chemical engineering. I use very little of the chemical aspect of it because I'm in a facility right now, and primarily most of my daily activities are around mechanical systems. So we do a lot of different things. We've got a number of utility systems that we're trying to optimize for energy. So we've got a number of investment projects that are energy savings projects. So I review them. I've got a staff of 4 engineers that work for me, and they're the ones that usually do most of the detail or have that done, and I just review it and kind of go through things like that.
Do you dislike your job or do you like your job?
No, I like it a lot. Yeah, you know, I like the technical field. I've always been a technical type guy, you know, so it's what I gravitate to. It's what I enjoy doing.
But is there anything you dislike in your job?
Sure, there's always things I dislike doing. There's a lot of bureaucracy. There's a lot of dealing with, let's say, you know, the personnel side of things, you know.
So, he said he liked his job, and you know how he became an engineer and the steps he took to become an engineer. However, there are many other branches of engineering other than chemical engineering and mechanical engineering. What do you think the hardest thing is about being an engineer?
The hardest thing about being an engineer was getting out of college, getting through the classes in college. I found it once the sophomore year was completed, the junior and senior year, the classes were not quite as, they were difficult, but they weren't what I had classified as weeder type classes, where they were just trying to make things difficult to get people to drop the class, to drop the major actually. But I would say college was the most difficult. Once I got out of college and I got my first job, then from there it wasn't very difficult at all.
So did you go to college for engineering?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Chemical engineering.
Do you have any recommendations for a student that might be wanting to pursue engineering?
Yeah, I would think, you know, what we've done, which has been very helpful for us, is see if you can do some internships in the summer. So I know that where I work now, we just started a program several years ago where we brought in college kids, you know, freshmen, sophomores, even juniors and seniors, and they've worked for a summer. If you can get an opportunity to work in the field, you know, I think it would give you a good understanding of what's involved and maybe help you make a decision.
What is a weeder class?
Well, what I mean by the weeder class is when you're in, what I experienced in the engineering curriculum at college is that your freshman and sophomore year, you take a lot of diversified classes. So you're taking, well for me, I took organic chemistry for 2 semesters, you take 4 semesters of physics, 4 semesters of math, calculus, differential equations, things like that. And usually in the engineering, for engineers, these classes, they tend to make them quite difficult, just because, in my opinion, was just to, you'd start the class in the beginning of the semester with maybe 100 kids in the class, and by the end of the semester, they'd probably about half. So it was one of those classes where a lot of kids go into these fields. A lot of people think they may want to do that, but they get into these classes and they make them very rigorous and a lot of time-consuming work. So when you're in college, you always know who the engineering students are, because they're the ones that are always in the library, or I don't know. When I was in school, we were always in the library studying.
Right. Okay, so you were talking about interns in the summer, and what do they look for in interns? Well,
for us, we look for students that are in fields that are applicable to what we do. So in my role at the job, I'm looking for engineering or technical students, primarily engineers, because we find it difficult in the operations world to find students or engineers that are interested in going into operations. Meaning manufacturing. There's not a lot of manufacturing done in the United States anymore. Pharmaceutical manufacturing is getting less and less. So it's one of the areas in pharmaceuticals where it's not the most glamorous jobs. We're not doing research and development. We're not doing marketing and sales. We're making tablets and capsules, and we're making the product. And it's you know, it's something that we find difficult to get technical people.
So what kind of math or science courses do you think you should take in general to get into engineering?
I would recommend in high school to take as many as you can. You know, the advanced placements are always good to have. What I felt for me, algebra was very important. You use that through calculus, you use that in a lot of the other, and it's the fundamental. But you know, for colleges, you want to take as many as you can. So if your school offers calculus, you know, trigonometry, calculus, pre-calculus, whatever you can take, I would just continue right through your senior year taking math, and don't stop after your elective's been fulfilled. The same with sciences.
Yeah. So hopefully you can understand what engineering is, how to become an engineer, and the different fields of engineering. Hopefully you can take away that engineering is one of the most important concepts throughout the everyday life. So hopefully you can take away that engineering is the most important concept through everyday life.